Well, everybody know wetin dey happen for Naija right now. Presidential election don come, don waka. National Assembly don come, waka. Now we are approaching the very critical stage of these elections, which is the governorship and the state houses of assembly. And one particular state is where the energy is right now. And of course, you already know now where else? Las Gidi. You know as they go now normally. Mhm. And the two aspiring candidates of the People's Democratic Party and the Labour Party are the people to watch in this particular election. The APC is the current incumbent, everybody already knows. So I won't really spend much time diving into, what they might bring to the table because obviously they brought some things and some things are still lacking, whatever. So I'll be diving into the personalities of the aspiring candidate of the PDP and the Labour Party, just to give you an insight of what I feel might be the case with these two individuals when either one of them, or if either one of them makes it eventually to win, the race. So we'll start off with the candidate of the PDP, Jandor, popularly known or popularly called rather. Jandor now, when I look when I watch in interviews and see the way in they move, from the outside looking in, and just his overall appearance, to me, he looks like someone that likes excitement, someone that revels in the attention, someone that is eager to hit the ground running. You understand? The kind of person that if you elect him today, by tomorrow, if you don't commission one project, that makes you happy, Abby. Nice one. But I'll describe him, as a muscle. The kind of person you want on a team to basically supervise what they are doing and be on their necks 24/7 to get the job done. That's the kind of person or personality I think he has, you know. And again, he's the kind of person that likes the finer things of life, the nice things, those things we find now. I might not begin calling names of those things. You understand? So yeah, the finer things of life, all that. He's that kind of person. Now, in the first maybe 6 months to 1 year, or maybe 1.5 years of his government, if he wins, I would expect to see projects, just flipping out of nowhere, like grand projects. Because, like I said, he's someone that revels in excitement. He's an exciter kind of, person. He revels in the attention. Whenever he walks into a room, he wants you to know he's there. He doesn't like hiding. He wants to be, those kind of people for secondary school maybe say that then they always like form responsibility. Like everybody feels will no sense, but they try make sure say like they try do say that they coordinate this thing. Now that kind of person be that. You understand? So yeah, but the where the problems might start for a person like him is that because he's a muscle kind of guy, he might not take his time to understand the framework of his new environment. That's he might not take his time to understand exactly what is going on in Lagos State, for instance. But then because he's so eager to hit the ground running, he's just going to, start doing things. And then, like I said, the first 1 year, 6 months of his government would be spectacular as far as I'm seeing. But somewhere around the second year or the third year, most critically, because it's easy to sustain momentum for 2 years, somewhere around the third year, he's just going to take a very sharp nosedive. Why? Because people like that, people that are muscles, they need something to always keep them focused. It's very easy for them to lose focus. Very, very easy. They are exciters. They know how to get the gig going. But because they don't settle down to really understand the environment, they will get stuck somewhere. And when they get stuck from trying to fix one problem to fixing another problem, and they now discover that, yo, this entire thing, we don't make too many mistakes. And then instead of fixing those mistakes, because it will take too much effort, they might end up just trying to patch it up because they've already created the impression that this thing is so grand and this is, sorry, this thing is so grand and this is, all those, what do they call them? All those ultra modern things now, you say ultra modern, what do you call it, ultra modern futuristic hospitals and all those kind of things the government people they build, So that's my synopsis of, or rather, my observation of his personality. What I get from him is that kind of person. Again, if you want to see a governor that will hit the ground running, he's the kind of person that will do that. But expect that along the line, by the third year, hmm, things will come begin, you understand? Will come begin day one kind. Now, where the saving grace for a person like him will be or will come is if his vice is somebody that knows how to settle down and plan. Of course, his vice is a popular actress, everybody knows her. But if she's someone that can settle down and plan, but then the problem is, or rather, but now the problem is when you have a muscle as the head and you have a brain as the neck, it's kind of not going to work because the muscle will not take advice from the brain since the muscle is the head and the brain is the neck. In this instance, that's the governor and his deputy, right? Just like we saw in the outgoing, or rather, just like we are seeing, or just like we've seen in the outgoing APC government, that's at national level now, the president and his vice. The same thing. The vice is a brain, the president is a muscle. Do you understand? So that's that's where you start hearing things like it's not the president, it's the people around him. Those kind of tales. Because you might get an advice, right, from your vice, from your VP or from your deputy. But because you're not a brain kind of person, you have to dangle that advice around people that you trust the most. By the time they fine tune it and probably sieve the idea, the one you decide to implement go most likely be crap. You understand? It could most likely be crap because you're not into the details of anything. You're a muscle kind of person. What I'm trying to say is if the VP had been the president and the president had been the VP, Nigeria would have probably made a great stride in progress. Do you understand? But because it's the other way around, now why we get it we get. You know, so so in this case now, for the PDP candidate, Jandor, that's what I'm feeling is going to be the case. If his VP is the brain, it might save him a little bit. But because he's not someone that necessarily wants to sit down and understand what's going on within the framework of government or understand the details of whatever it is he wants to do, because he's someone that will most likely be disposed to exciting the crowd and giving you something that will make you lose your breath or something, he most likely will run into trouble along the way. And even if he ends up taking advices or taking advice rather from those that are experts and lesser than, or even if he end up even if he ends up taking advices from experts, even if he ends up taking advices from experts, right, or those that are supposedly lower than him in government, he will still have to run it through other people just to be sure that this is the most bumper thing he can do. So again, like I said, if you want a governor that is going to hit the ground running and you want excitement, Jandor is your man. But somewhere along the third year, down to the last, year, which will be the fourth year, just expect expect tales, stories, unfounded stories, and try attempts to just instead of going back to the foundation to rebuild, just attempts to patch and patch and patch and keep things just the way they are. Now we move over to the candidate of the LP, GRV, or rather, Gbadebo Rhodes-Vivour, as they call him. GRV is someone that strikes me as, many people think he's laid back, but I think that his personality looks like someone that very early in his life, he made a few mistakes. right? That's, for instance, he might have dabbled into one or two things that he's really not proud about, you know. And later after that, he has been trying to make sort of, trying to redeem himself to himself and become a better man overall. That's the kind of person he strikes me as. And he also strikes me as someone that, for instance, if you want a governor that will enter, and for the first year, you might not see anything. You might not see anything. What he might spend that first year doing is understanding the entire framework of what is going on, understanding what is happening in Lagos, like where is the money going, through who and where, and why are we awarding these contracts, who are we awarding them, what's the method of deciding, like, you understand, he's that kind of person that would take, he might even order all the books all the books from 1990 whatever, maybe 1999, since the civilian government, order all the books, order a complete overall audit of the entire government just to understand what is happening. You understand? And remember, again, he's an architect, which I don't think is an added advantage. But when it comes to planning, that's why I said his personality kind of, So he's the kind of person that might spend a year just understanding what is happening. So for 1 year, or maybe for 6 months, 1 year, you might not really see anything that he's doing. You might see him up and down the place, just moving around, going on tours around the state and trying to understand frameworks and all that stuff. But you might not see anything yet. Like, okay, where is this guy know the commission project? But by the second year, third year, and final year, by the time he would have understood what is really going on and set his own plans right, that's when his work will start. You understand? So someone like him, he will not hit the ground running. He's not an exciter. He's not bah another banger. You understand? He's not bah. You understand? He's just chilling, chilling. He's a chiller. But after chilling and understanding what is truly going on, then he will now decide, okay, this is the framework we are going to use to attack this or attack that project and do this and do that and free things and free things up and do all of that. So that is his own personality, right? And I hope I'm not forgetting anything. And yeah, that's pretty much it. So in an ideal world, right? In an ideal world, now, okay, for or rather, going back to the LP candidate, that's GRV. For GRV, what he would need in his government as a deputy governor, that's what he will need his deputy governor to do mostly, will be someone, he needs someone that has energy. Now, I've seen his deputy governorship candidate, and I think she has energy. But from my reading of her personality, she's a dazzler. I don't know how to explain it, but she's a dazzler. She has her personality is almost fitting Jandor's personality. That's the PDP candidate. She wants to arrive and make you aware that she's here. You understand? So she's a dazzler. So now I don't know if she's up on the energy side of things as much as Jandor. Now I'm just cross checking, VP, or rather deputy versus governor on this side and deputy versus governor on this side. In an ideal world, in an ideal world, GRV should be the governor of Lagos State and Jandor should be his deputy. Because again, like I said, GRV is the kind of person that will settle down and understand what he's doing. And then after understanding that thing, because Jandor is an exciter, Jandor is the kind of person you delegate certain things to and he will go after it because, again, he's an exciter. You understand? So he will want to be seen and be seen that he's doing things. So if that government was possible, now the kind of government will be say, go to hear things like, now, Jandor, they do all the work. That that's the kind of government you hear those kind of things. Because from outside looking in, Jandor will be everywhere because he wants to be seen. He's a muscle kind of guy, just like I said. He's a mover. You understand? But GRV is a kind of planner. He thinks and strategizes. So that would be the ideal thing for Lagos State if GRV was the governor and Jandor was the deputy. Now, that's not ruling any of the women out, just in case anybody come here and begin the fight, say women, this one, women marginalization. That's not ruling any of them out. I'm just saying, in an ideal, just looking at the two governorship candidates, in an ideal world or in an ideal situation, So now, given the world we are in, which is not ideal or perfect, we just have to make do with what we have. So, hmm, personally, my personal choice would be my personal choice would be the Labour Party candidates, which is GRV. Reasons being, like I said, Lagos is chaotic, Lagos is energetic, Lagos is every Lagos in terms of its characteristics, it fits Jandor the way it already is. But if you want to fix things in Lagos, you need someone who, inside or within all the madness of Lagos, within all the chaos, someone that will settle down and be like, WTF, waiting they happen for you. Someone that says now and be like, waiting they happen for years, you understand? And that person is GRV because he will settle down and understand the framework, know where to apply pressure and where not to apply pressure. Whereas someone like Jandor will just want to, hit the ground running and just bamboozle any and everything into what he plans or whatever or his plans. And so my choice for a governor would be someone like GRV. And then, if he wins, appoint someone like Jandor, I don't even know how to pronounce him, as his I'm sorry, I say minister. Appoint someone like Jandor as um maybe a chief advisor on works. Oh no, not chief advisor, as a commissioner, as a commissioner of works. But then Jandor is already in a governorship candidate. He will not want to be a commissioner. Let's just face the fact. Now, politics, everybody get pride. So that would be the ideal situation. Now, in a Lagos that is not the Lagos we know today, that's in a calm Lagos that is serene and soft and, has a lot of space for big projects and mighty, mighty infrastructure, you know, Jandor would have been the ideal candidate because, like I said, he's an exciter. He's the kind of person that might commission a 70-story skyscraper. You understand? For whatever reason, he will. But like I said, for Lagos, as I'm seeing Lagos where I sabi, Lagos where I don't walk around, Lagos where I don't chuk head for places. Now, GRV need to make sense of this, madness with the lag. You understand? So, click the like button, subscribe, and if you want me to analyze the personalities of other state governors, I might. Or even if you still want me to jump into the deputies too, because maybe people will not be like say maybe I don't marginalize the women and all that stuff. Maybe you want me to also analyze the personalities, since one of them is actually a very famous actress, and the other one too has bragging rights on her own, or rather has a good reputation in her own rights. So if that's what you want, just like, comment, subscribe, and all of that, and I'll see you on the, I don't even know what I can even call this episode itself. Nada.